Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Daily Shooter. So you've been thinking about getting night vision. You see how expensive night vision is, you start looking for options to try and save a little bit of money. One of the best ways to go is a PVS-14. Well, today I have my full review of the PVS-14 and PVS-14 Magnifier from Trybe Defense. So let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get one thing out of the way right off the bat, and that is economical and night vision do not really go hand in hand. Night vision can get extremely expensive, tens of thousands of dollars, and there's a lot of different factors that play into the price of night vision. How many tubes does it have? What generation is it? What type of technology does it have built in it? What type of mounting device does it come with? Even the color of the phosphor can play into the price, green versus white and so forth. So what we're saying when we're talking about economical is the PVS-14 still giving you green or white phosphor, but being a single tube Gen 3 is going to give you the most bang for your buck versus some of the other things that, again, cost, tens of thousands of dollars. This costs a fraction of that. So this is economical for night vision. Okay, so now let's go and talk specifically about the Trybe Defense PVS-14. Now, the mount that I'm using right now is actually the mount that it came with. There are other mounts that are out there, much better mounts, but I wanted to try the mount that it comes with. Just makes sense for a review to test it out with the factory provided equipment. And this mount is just fine. It works just fine. It locks on just fine. I don't see any issues with it whatsoever, other than the fact that there's mounts that are a little bit stronger that have a lot more adjustability. If there was anything I could change about this mount, it would be that, again, you don't have much flexibility in terms of trying to get this thing right in front of your eye. There's usually just like this nice sweet spot, and you have to try and find it in order to have the right parallax with the optic. But the mount's fine, and it does come with one. So again, that could be another cost savings issue because night vision mounts are also extremely expensive. Several $100s, $500 for a single mount can, really break the bank for somebody who's on a budget. So having the fact that it comes with a mount, I think is really nice. Again, this is a Gen 3 optical device. Gen 3 is nice. Gen 3 is where I would stay if I was on a budget and, not looking to spend uber amounts of money, because Gen 3 is leaps and bounds ahead of Gen 2. I do not have to use any type of backup lighting system, infrared light, or anything like that in order to get a good image when I look through this. Other devices like digital night vision or Gen 2 night vision usually require some type of external illumination. Like this is an infrared light right here, and without it, something like this Sightmark Wraith, it's really hard, if not impossible, to see anything at night. So if it's really dark outside and you're trying to see a target without some type of backup illumination, it's very difficult to do so. This thing right here comes in around $500. It is a daytime scope and a nighttime scope, but it's digital, and it's just, it's not as good. If you're looking for real night vision and being able to see, a Gen 3 PVS-14 will definitely accomplish that. This thing has a lot of adjustability in terms of focus, in terms of gain. The battery life is really good, and we'll go over those tech specs here in just a minute. But again, this PVS-14 I think is a great way for somebody who doesn't want to spend that ridiculous amount of money to be able to get into night vision. And again, standalone night vision that does not require any type of external illumination other than the mild ambient light that might be around you from the moon and stars. Okay, so here's a closer look at the Trybe Defense PVS-14. Now we're going to go over some of the tech specs, details, and features, and I'll talk to you guys about what I think about this optic. Now this is a 1x optic, meaning that it has no magnification whatsoever when you look through it. It has 40 degrees field of view, which really isn't that bad for a single binocular. Being that it's a 1X, if you want to add some magnification, that's where the Trybe Defense Tripler comes in. And this is something that's sold as a bundle over at Optics Planet. So again, all you have to do is head over to my website. I have discount codes and links for this stuff. It'll save you quite a bit of money, given the fact that these go anywhere from about $2,000 up to about $3,500, depending on, again, what generation, what color phosphor, and what things you add on to it, like this bundle and so forth. But the tripler is nice because all you do is you simply screw this into the objective of the optic, and then you tighten this thing down. Don't over tighten it, because some of the components that are in there are literally only thousandths of an inch apart, and so you don't want to add any extra pressure and possibly break something. But you simply screw this thing on, and it allows you to have 3 times magnification on your night vision. So if there's something a little bit further away and you want to be able to identify it at night, it's nice to get that 3 times magnification on there so you can see a little bit further downrange, and then simply take it off by unscrewing it. Putting it to the side comes a little carry pouch, and you're good to go. So again, it's 40 degrees field of view, 1x magnification. It's not super big. Most PVS-14s are going to be around the same size. So we're looking at about 4.5 inches in total length. It's going to be about about 2.75 inches tall and about 2.5 inches wide. And it's not very heavy either. It weighs about 10.5 ounces. Given all the components and the glass and everything else, that's not really that bad. It's got a really nice strong housing on it. It uses one single AA battery. The nice thing about that is they're easy to source, and it gives you about 50 hours of runtime. I've used this for about 50 hours if you add everything together. But you know, you turn it on, run it, then you turn it off. And so 50 hours, while it doesn't seem very long, it's actually a kind of a long time. And it's surprising that it's only one AA battery to power this thing, because if you think about like your TV remote, usually takes like 2 AAAs or 2 AAs in order to run it at 3 volts. This thing will run for 50 hours on 1.5 volts. So that's pretty good too. It's got a tethered cap for the battery compartment. It's got some knurling on the cap of the battery, so you don't have to worry about losing that battery cap right there. On the front of our optic here, we have our adjustable gain. So all you do is simply turn this little knob right here to adjust your gain, and it works really well. This thing gets super, super bright. So if there is moon and stars and a lot of ambient light, there's a pretty good chance you're gonna have to turn that down to about half, or maybe even less than half, so that you don't end up with too much fuzz, so that you don't have too much gain on there. But you would adjust it right here, turn it on and off with this little turn dial right there. So this is how you turn it on and off, and then adjust your gain. You can obviously adjust your focus, and the focus goes anywhere from, I believe it's like, 9.8 inches to infinity. So if you have something that's really close, like maybe you're in a hallway and you want it to dial in that focus pretty close, you can actually dial this thing, again, from under 10 inches all the way out to infinity. So it has a pretty good focal range on it as well. It's got a really nice housing on it. It's very strong. It's got a nice anodized coating to it. It does have that front pin cap. You know, you don't want to open this thing up during the day. You got that little pin right there. That's going to allow enough light through where you're still going to be able to see, you know, in brighter conditions. So maybe there's street lights and things like that around you, but you still want to be able to use it. That pin cap is going to allow light through without damaging any of the internal components right there. So, you know, again, it's got a lot of great features. This one right here, again, is the Gen 3 with the white phosphor. They come in a Gen 2 for the Trybe Defense. They come in a Gen 2 or Gen 3, and then they come in a green or white phosphor, and then, like I was saying before, they come in different packages, so you can get it with or without the tripler, and there's other things that you can get with them as well. It does come with the mount, you know, the J-arm and everything else. So yeah, it's a pretty good value if you think about it. Again, going anywhere from about $2,000 to $3,500, depending on which one that you pick. So, you know, diopter adjustment, it's going to be -6 to +2. You have about, about 0.96 inches of eye relief, about 25 millimeters of eye relief. So basically, it's going to put your eye relief right here at the end of this cap. So basically, what this is there for is to block any of that light that might be emitted from this, because it gives off that green or white light. And if you have somebody on the other side that might be looking for you, they also have night vision, and you have this big glow coming off of your face right here, they're going to be able to see that like it's a floodlight. So this is kind of meant to cover that, cup your eye, and keep a lot of that light that's emitted out of this down so that you don't have so much of a signature showing out there to everybody. It is totally water submersible, so you can drop this thing in a lake and it's good down to, I believe, 20 meters, so you're looking around 60, 66 feet, something like that. So it is completely waterproof and submersible. It's actually a pretty tough little device. Now, another nice thing about this is it does come with a pretty detailed data sheet, so you can see what the signal-to-noise ratio is. It's supposed to be 22. It uses a thin film photocathode, so there's a lot more details that you can get into when you take a look at the spec sheet. But what I can tell you just as the end user, this thing is fantastic. It's got a great image, it's very sharp, it's very easy to discern things. So when you're looking out there and maybe there's a large post, you could see whether or not that's a post or that's a person. You can look out and see the difference between one bush from the next, one branch to the next. It's very crisp, it's very clear, and it's very easy to figure out exactly what you're looking at. So you don't have to worry about looking through this thing and getting such a blurry, fuzzy image that it's really hard to tell what it is. As long as your focus is dialed in, you can see everything that you want to see in excellent clarity. So it looks really good looking through this thing. The other nice thing is, with that focal range being out to infinity, you can see things that are pretty far away still in pretty good detail. And then if you want to just magnify it, you could throw on the Trybe Tripler again. The other thing that I noticed about this is when you're looking at let's say an optic like a red dot or a holographic sight, and it has night vision compatibility, you have it turned down to the right setting, you can see the reticle perfect and everything beyond. So you're able to get that focus in where you can see everything that's going out, but still have a pretty good image of the reticle as well. So it works great with other optics. It works great being helmet mounted. Now, when it comes to being mounted, let's say like a clip-on device, because it's not really designed to be a clip-on device, it's meant to be, a standalone device. I believe it's rated up to 5.56, and the reason is because, again, we're talking about thousandths of an inch in space between some of the components that are in here, and so under recoil or with heavy shock, sometimes those things can lose their spacing and you'll end up with a blurry image or maybe a white splotch. It looks like a kind of a white fingerprint or green fingerprint on the screen, and that's for putting it on something that creates too much recoil and too much shock on it. So again, I believe this is rated up to 5.56. Now, when you get this, it's going to come in a bag. So here we have the optic itself. It's going to come in this green bag right here. Go ahead and unzip the bag, and you'll have some extra components that are on the inside. So we have this kind of head mount right here. That's going to work with the J arm. So we have that comes in the kit. We also have our spec sheet. We have, some extra protective glass and some rings right there. We also have this lanyard that comes with it as well. And this kit's actually pretty nice. It's reusable, so we could take everything if we want to transport it, put all of our stuff in here, keep everything nice and safe, and then keep that with you. So I do like the fact that it comes with a pouch and it comes with all of the information that you're going to want to know about it. The other thing about these types of night vision devices are they hold their value pretty well. So if you get one of these and like a year later you decide, you know what, I just don't want it anymore, it's not something I'm ever going to use. I thought maybe I was, but I'm not going to. If you look at the aftermarket on these things, they actually go for a pretty good price, and you'll be able to get at least most of your money back. So, they have a lot more information in here. You can flip through this and kind of get an idea of exactly how this thing works and what all the different components are. It's got a pretty good manual. But again, like I was saying, with these type of devices, you're usually able to get a pretty good chunk of your money back later on. So it's a good investment. If you're somebody who has one of these and in a defensive situation and the other person doesn't, and it's dark nighttime outside, the tactical advantage is definitely going to the person with night vision. So try and keep that in mind as well. I think it's a great investment and definitely something worth having. This Trybe Defense one coming in at a much better price than a lot of the others that are on the market, I think really does kind of add to the overall value. This thing is fantastic. I don't think anybody would be disappointed in it, whether you're a civilian just looking for something extra or if you're somebody who's going to use this professionally. I think this is definitely going to work for you. So again, check out my website, check out the links and discount codes and all that stuff. Head over to Optics Planet and get yourself some night vision. Thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.